Hey, what's going on? Happy Wednesday, and I'm back after not being on last week. And I'll tell you, we get into springtime, and it is unpredictable for me, that's for sure. And I took the week off last week because I ended up getting a pretty bad case of hay fever. Tree pollen is like off the charts in our area right now, so it's been a little interesting, but voice is starting to come back. Not coughing as much. So I'm back on here and we can go through some pretty cool stuff today. So you saw what I talking about in the description. And if you didn't, the questions I have for you today are number one, have you ever wondered why successful digital marketers or like what they've done, right? How'd they do it? How'd they get it rolling? And then number two, are you constantly scratching your head on what you need to do next to move your business forward? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. And so what we're going to talk about is the 7-step process to freedom, or 7 steps to freedom, however you want to go about it. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how you're going to have the ability to basically put something together, and it's very methodical, right? This isn't something out of the ordinary. This isn't some crazy, matter of steps. It's just that you do these things literally in order, and you get to the end of the steps and you just repeat, right? You just keep going. And so a little backstory. So I got connected with some pretty cool people, and these cool people, I guess we'll call them, they have some pretty awesome experience in a lot of different areas. And one of the things that they have a lot of experience in is digital marketing. And when it comes to digital marketing, one of the things that they are really good about, I don't want to say drilling in, but just teaching very well is the exact process it takes to be successful in this industry. And it's not rocket science, but it does take a little bit to set up. And the thing is that most people, they try to skip through some of the steps, right? They try to go through and say, hey, I'm gonna go, I think I know step one, so I'm gonna go to step two, and I'm gonna go halfway through step two and go to step three, and I don't need step four, so I'll skip to step five, and then I'll do step six, and then step seven, I'll kind of do it and whatever. And so you're probably sitting here like, well, what is he talking about? Well, what I'm talking about is what most people do in the online industry, right? They jump around, they pick and choose what they think they need, and they say, well, I don't need this because I learned that a year ago. Well, you know what? You're probably going to have to relearn it. And any new opportunity you go into, you have to follow these steps. This is literally the same steps I have followed for the last couple things that I've done, and it has worked beautifully. And in the current, thing that I've been doing for a while, the biggest thing is that, it is centered around digital marketing and email marketing. And the big thing about that is it doesn't change, right? If you are an affiliate marketer and you're building a platform to just promote other people's products, this is the same steps. If you're a network marketer and you want to be able to build a team, this is the same steps, right? And this is kind of pertaining more towards the online side of things, but you can apply this to traditional businesses as well. So I'm going to jump right into it. I'm not going to spend really much more time dilly-dallying around here. And so let's talk about step number one, right? So step number one that you really need to have for your process to freedom is the formula, right? So what you need in terms of this formula is you need the ability to have a methodical process in place and have a plan put in place, the steps that you're going to, put together, exactly how everything fits together. That's your formula, right? Your formula for success. And that is crucial if you're going to build an online business. Now, by this formula, what I mean is you got to have an entry point, right? You got to have something that somebody wants or needs, preferably something they need. That's going to be better. But, something that is enticing to somebody to get into your process, to be there, right? It's the start to your process. So that's the first part of the formula. And as you go through, you're going to have things like maybe you have a capture page, right? Or maybe you have another page, and then maybe you have some products and things like that. But you got to lay that out. You got to have that available for you and visualize it and know exactly step by step where they're going in that process. You got to have a formula for exactly how you're going to play this out from start to finish. And this formula is not you, right? This isn't your steps. This is the steps that somebody that you talk to, your prospect, that's the steps that you're going to bring them through the entire process. Is you're going to bring them through this process, this formula, and that's what's going to happen, right? And this formula could be things like you want to have products that are a solution to somebody's problems, and then you want to be able to have what's called a value ladder, right? You want to be able to have something that you can build more value into things and be able to sell higher ticket products and things like that on the back end. And this formula really is designed to take somebody through a process where maybe let's do an example, right? There's a very popular marketing program out there where the example is you come into this funnel and it's a $7 entry point, and then you go further in that and you can do something else for $15, and then you can do something else for $30, and then you go through a series of trainings, and then you can get into doing more for another $30, or you can end up going into doing more for, I think there's one for 70 and there's one for 90, and then you get into the thousands, right? You get into their main program, and it just kind of, you going through and it's like, just skyrockets. And so what happens is as you're going through this formula, right, is you're being given more and more value, and that value just kind of grows and grows and grows. And so does the monetary value behind it. So that formula is something that you have to put together, and you have to have that formula in order to be successful. If you just say, yeah, I'm just going to tell people about this thing and we'll see what happens, that's not a good formula. You're not going to have any success with that. You're not going to be able to move forward with getting closer to freedom if your option is just, I'm going to pick this thing and just throw some mud at it and see what sticks. You got to have a methodical process to take people through. So number one is the formula, okay? Number two then is you got to have the customer. And so what a lot of people miss, and this is where I talked about people skip step one and go right to step two. And they're like, well, I'm going to go find my customers. Well, if you don't have a formula, finding customers isn't going to do you any good, because those customers aren't going to align with whatever you're doing, because you don't know what you need to do to provide value to that person. You don't have a formula set up to do that. So when people skip step one and they go right into step two, what happens is that formula gets lost. There's nothing there. And the customer gets lost because they're confused. And maybe you have a product, okay? There are some, one-hit wonders out there where they've gone through and they've had this system where there's like, hey, you buy this thing one time and then you just sell it all over the place. Yeah, those things can work. But you know what's funny about that is that's that person's formula. Maybe that's not your formula. Maybe that's not what you want. So when we talk about the next step is the customer, right? What does the customer mean? Well, the customer could be somebody to buy a product, somebody to be a client, somebody to be, somebody for you to coach, somebody for you to train, or it could just be somebody to read whatever it is that you're doing or listen to whatever it is that you're doing. There's a lot of YouTube people out there that, they just do videos, right? And people go, well, they just do videos. No, they don't just do videos. They set up a formula and they found their perfect customer, and they started doing specific videos for that customer. So what you have to determine is, what is it about that customer that you can help them with? So finding your perfect customer, right? Finding somebody that you can help solve a problem for. And sometimes that perfect customer can be a little broad. So then you got to narrow that down. So like if you say, well, I want to help people make more money, that's too broad. Okay. There's tons of people out there that want to help people make more money. So what is it that you have? What is the person that you want to really kind of dial into and help them be better, help them make more money, help them do the thing that, people want, right? And so you just have to decide, are you going to niche down to men, to women? Are you going to niche down to work at a job people, work at home people? Are you going to niche down to stay-at-home moms? Are you going to niche down to construction workers? Like, you can do that, right? You don't have to, but that's going to make it easier for you to figure out what kind of person you are going to be talking to. So we've got the formula and we've got the customer. So now we got to move into the products. Okay. And when we're talking about the products, what we're looking at is you can either find the products, you can create the products, or you can be a product of the product. And so when I talk about finding the products, there's tons of affiliate platforms out there that they have all these products just ready to be sold. Okay. I'm part of a couple of them. I know plenty of people that I'm connected with are part of affiliate platforms, and their products could be training products. They could be physical products. They could be a book. It could be whatever. A good example is there's a very successful marketer out there who, sorry about that. I just kind of came out of nowhere, but there's a very successful marketer out there who runs his own funnel building business, and he sells books as one of his products. He writes and sells books, and these books solve a specific problem for a specific type of person, and they've got their specific customer they're going for. So whatever it is, you can find those products out there. All those books you can be an affiliate for. So now let's take in consideration, like, if you create products. So let's talk about creating, right? Like, you can create your own coaching program. You can write your own book. You can create your own software. You can, create a group that's designed to help people be better affiliate marketers. If you're anywhere in the online world, you've probably seen that group around all over the place, right? There's tons of those groups, but that's how you can create products that are perfect for your customers. And then as far as the being a product of the product, so let's say, for example, you've got a company that sells a specific product that you like, and you found out that you can be an affiliate for that product. Well, it's not really being an affiliate, right? If they're not an affiliate, you can be like a representative or a distributor or something like that. That's kind of where a lot of network marketing companies come in, is you can be a distributor for those places. So you can find your products, you can create your products, or you can be a product of the product. So those are options for the product side. So now we're what, 3 steps in? So you've got the formula, the customer, the products. Well, now if we're talking digital online marketing world, right, this kind of stuff is the pages. So what you need from then, and this is all kind of, think of all of this as building into your formula, right? So you've got the pages next. And with the pages, the biggest thing that you're going to want to look for is, number one, you want congruence. So you want to make sure that whatever you're going to take people through. So if you're going to talk to people about, hey, I'm going to help you make extra money. Okay. Or you're going to say, I'm going to help you escape your 9-to-5, or I'm going to help you be a better affiliate marketer. Your first page you send people to better be about that. Hands down. Your first page absolutely better be about that whole process. Is you're going to help them do whatever it is that you told them that you can help them with before you sent them to that page. And then your next page needs to be you telling them, like, first of all, thanking them for getting whatever it is that they got, and then telling them what the next steps are going to be like, what the process is going to be like, kind of building that know, like, and trust factor. Get your face on the screen, be able to be out there and show them that you are a real person that is actually interested in their success, that's interested in making them better, and kind of lay out what they can expect. That's a really big thing. And then from there, you're going to have things like sales pages and stuff like that, and a lot of people will call this a funnel. And that's absolutely true. It is a funnel. But what you're doing is you want that congruence all the way through. So if you go in and you send someone to, hey, let's go ahead and get you out free from your 9-to-5. And the next page, you're like, let me tell you about all my weight loss products. That is a confused buyer. And a confused buyer never buys. If that person sees that other page and they see the fact that, you're trying to show them that they are, they went through where they can escape their 9-to-5, and you're like, let me show you all these awesome products about weight loss, that does not help them learn how to escape their 9-to-5. So you got to be really, really clear on that message and keep that message rolling through the entire process, through that entire funnel, that entire formula, right? And so the next step with that is then, and this is because I'm going to tell you right now, disclaimer, email marketer, digital marketer, right? So the next step is emails. There's a two-part process to this. Number one is collect emails. The biggest thing I have, and I've learned this, right? I've been through multiple different opportunities, multiple different programs that teach people how to do social media marketing. And the biggest fallacy that people are forgetting about social media marketing is that your leads do not exist in your pocket. For example, this platform that you're watching me on right now, the leads that you have on this platform are owned by this platform. Yeah, sure, you can go try to strip the information out, but if you notice, if you go download your information, all they got is names, right? So what you need to do is you need to go through and really get dialed in on collecting emails on everything you do and build your list, because your list is really what you're going to use to be able to continue that longevity in your life. Now, maybe you don't email that list often, right? Maybe you don't do a newsletter. Maybe you don't send promotional emails like I do. Maybe it's just a matter of, I'm going to send a few emails. I'm going to see what happens, maybe once a week, once a month, whatever it is. But you got to collect them for actually going through and owning your list, so that way you have access to those people. Because what happens if after you get done watching me, you go do whatever it is you're going to do? Maybe you go play with your kids or hang out with your buddies or your friends, you go have dinner, whatever it is, and you come back and Facebook shuts you down, right? Oh, sorry, I said their name. So that's not something that you want to really have happen to you. Most email platforms aren't going to shut you down. If anything, they want you to stay live because they want your emails to continue to go out. So think about that. And then the second part of it is sending great emails. Not everybody's a great copywriter, and that's okay. And I might have something for you on that later on. So, just hang on that one. So capture emails, send great emails. So the next step after we've done all that, we've gotten the formula laid out. We know what the process is going to be like. We found our perfect customer. We've got the perfect products. We've got the pages set up. We've got the emails thing figured out. Now what do we got to do? Well, we got to drive traffic. Okay. So step 6 in this 7 steps to freedom, right? Just drive traffic. If we can't drive traffic, this is absolutely going to be a completely failed system. Now, driving traffic can be done a number of ways. You can drive traffic with your Facebook, your social media profiles. You can drive traffic with paid traffic, so ads and things like that. You can drive traffic with blogs. I get certain clicks off of my blog sometimes. I actually just the other day, I rewrote my entire blogging system and completely put it on a new site. I put it out there and said, hey, everybody, check it out. I redid my blog, and I got a bunch of leads clicking on the images and the sidebar stuff and whatever I've got going on in my blog. If you don't do it, they won't come, right? Now, there is the whole thing, like, if you build it, they will come. Some of that's true, right? If you write a blog, you may not see leads right away. It may not happen in the first month or the first year, but eventually that content is going to start getting ranked somewhere. That content is evergreen, meaning it's always there. You don't have to worry about going back and trying to revamp that content. So, and on top of that, the biggest thing that you're going to run into is you're going to run into situations where if you can't keep things going like this, then what you're going to run into is you're going to start having no leads. So you got to drive traffic. You got to be able to do things like video. If you don't want to do video, write. If you don't want to write, then talk on audio, do a podcast, whatever it is, but you got to drive traffic. That's the most important piece of this. And it should be number one, but it's kind of later on because you can't drive traffic to nothing, right? You got to have everything else figured out before that. So a little quick recap for those of you that are just tuning in here. So we're talking about 7 steps to freedom. Okay. And step number 1 is get your formula together, your process. What are you going to send people through? Number 2, figure out who your perfect customer is. Number 3, figure out what products you're going to use. So whether you find the perfect products or you create the perfect products or you're a product of the product. It doesn't matter. Figure out the pages, make sure everything's congruent. Capture emails, number one, send emails, number two, and then drive traffic. Okay. So here we're at step 6. And this is where it kind of gets tricky, right? As people go, well, now what do I do? I've gotten my process. I found my customer. I got my pages. I did my emails. I've got all my stuff. I've got my traffic going. Then what's next? Well, what's next is you need to put yourself in a position where you have a daily set of action steps you take. Every single day you do these steps without fail. If you fail and you take away that consistency, what's going to happen is you're going to keep sliding backwards. You're not going to reach your goals. So people talk about it all the time, right? That daily method of operation. You got to have those action steps in place and do them every day. So a lot of people who market on social media, one of the things you see that they do every single day is they're posting every day. Maybe it's something small. Maybe it's a long form post. Maybe it's a call to action, whatever it is, they're doing it every single day. And so it's their DMO, their daily method of operation. So that's what you have to put together is you have to put together a daily method of operation. And you don't have to go redo all those steps, but these 7 steps is you do 1 through 6, okay? And 6 and 7, you're going to repeat every day, okay? Drive traffic, do your steps. Drive traffic, do your steps, just like clockwork. And you might tweak some other things. You might tweak a page here and there. You might change up the products you're promoting. You might do something different. Whatever it is that you're doing, the 2 things you're going to do all the time is drive traffic, complete your steps. And it doesn't have to be, we're not talking about a mouse on a wheel. We're not talking about just being like a robot and, beep, boop, beep, engage on social media. Because I'll tell you right now, the biggest sickness we see out there is all these bots on social media. How many times do you get people just saying thanks on every single comment, or people that, just say like, good morning on everything, and they don't actually add value to your post? That's not actually building an audience. All that's doing is playing with the algorithm, and playing with the algorithm doesn't make you sales. Part of your action steps needs to be trying to convert people to be better, right? We're not talking about convert for money. Yes, sales are part of it, but you want to try to better somebody's life, right? That's why we're all in this. We wanted a better life. Somebody helped us with that process. It's our turn to pay it forward. So when you're going through your daily steps, the biggest thing you need to realize is that your job, your goal, hopefully, is to better somebody else's life, to add value to their life, to help them solve a specific problem. If your goal is just money, then you know what? Just do one of the steps, find yourself a product, and start throwing mud at a wall and see what sticks. But I can tell you right now, that's going to be just like working a job. You're going to feel like you're working a 9 to 5 online. That's all it's going to be. If you want true freedom, you go through all 7 of these steps and you make sure that you complete them at the highest quality, because you skip out on anything and you're going to be set back like crazy, right? So we've gone through the 7 steps, and I'm going to recap them just real quick. Number 1, set up your formula, your process. Number 2, figure out who your perfect customer is. Number 3, put together your perfect products, whether that's you find them, you create them, whatever it is may be. Number 4 is put together your perfect pages, your perfect funnel. Number 5 is emails. Capture emails and send emails. I know that a lot of you are scared of email marketing, and it's okay. It doesn't bite. It's not venomous. You're not going to die from it. Just do it. It's super easy. And honestly, I'll teach you. Number 6 is the traffic. You got to drive traffic. And number 7 is repeat the steps every day. Drive traffic, complete your steps. If you want to do it on social media, great. Do it on social media, but you got to be consistently connecting with people. If you want to run ads, great. Run ads and consistently be connecting with people. Don't forget that last step is the daily action steps. Do it every day. That compound effect will happen, and eventually it's going to be like second nature. It's not going to be a big deal. So I know we've gone through a lot, and I just wanted to run through that, but I'm going to ask you this question. Where are you right now in those steps? Have you completed all 7 steps and you're just completing your daily actions now? Or are you kind of stuck on one of those steps? Are you stuck on a product? Are you stuck on the pages? Are you stuck on getting the traffic or whatever the case may be? And what would it mean to you if you had a system that could actually walk you through all 7 of those steps from start to finish with specific trainings and specific products that would literally boost you into freedom? Because that's a question I had to ask myself. And when I got involved, I'll tell you what, the biggest thing that changed for me was clarity. Clarity was the huge difference for me that really set me up for success, right? And when I went through these steps, I will tell you, it was amazing how many things, I've been through dozens of courses before, and how many things that those other courses missed. And a lot of them were fundamental principles that really needed to be there that just weren't there. So you have to ask yourself are you where you want to be, or are you on the path that's going to lead you to what you want, or are you still missing a couple of those items? And if you are missing a couple of those items, it's great, or it's not great, but it's great that you're here, because the good news is that's where you can get them right there. 9to5freedomsecret.com. I will tell you, that is the starting point. That's the best place to go. There's a free ebook there for you. It's going to set up the foundation. It's going to set up the fundamentals for you. And what that's going to do, that free ebook that's in there. So a friend of mine, Nick Bramble, he actually wrote that book. And so I can't take credit for it. But what it did for me is it kind of boosted that clarity, but it also made me realize what I was missing. And it's a set of morals and principles that are out there that a lot of other marketers just, they're going along feeling like they're missing. They got that hole, right? And so what that did is that filled a lot of those holes. And then what comes after that is there's a training system that comes with that. So once you get the book, it is going to walk you through this system. I highly recommend that you actually really look into that system. The system is called Freedom Launchpad. That's the training system that goes along with the book. And he literally walks you through each section of the book. You read that section of the book, you go through the training, you do the steps, you set up the system. And the best part about it is when we're talking about the perfect customer, the perfect products, the perfect pages, the traffic, all of that stuff is laid out for you. You don't have to go figure any of that stuff out yourself. Now, you can promote whatever you want, right? This is not a one-stop shop. You have to do whatever. I mean, the whole idea is to set you up with a foundation in order for you to be successful. Because I know for me, before I saw this, I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off. And I was losing tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of hours. I was alienating people because I was just spamming people like, hey, check out this new thing I'm doing, and just really trying to make things work. And this finally put in a ton of clarity. So I'm going to bring that up again for you here if you missed it. 9to5freedomsecret.com. I will put it in the comments after we're done here as well. But check that out. See what that's going to do for you. I firmly believe that there is not a single person out there that couldn't take something from that book. There's at least one thing in that book that could help every person out there. And it could be different for each person, but it's going to change your life. And if it doesn't, honestly, I'd love the feedback, because I can totally take that back to the guy who wrote it and say, hey, this person read the book and here's what they said about it. If you hate it, let us know, because we'd love to be able to get that updated and make sure that we're actually doing the things that we need to do to serve the right people. So that's all I'm going to do for now. I wanted to keep this right around 30 minutes or less, and I'm just hitting 30 minutes right now, which I'm always long-winded. I shouldn't even think that I can go less than 30 minutes. But either way, one more time, 9to5freedomsecret.com. That's going to take you where you need to go. That's going to get you the free ebook, and then that's going to take you into checking out the training that we have that will literally walk you through all 7 steps we talked about in this video. So hope you're having a great day. I'm glad you're here. Love you all. And I hope you have a wonderful night, the rest of your night. And we'll see you next week.